can hear you. And how do I turn on the audio on the Zoom thing?
Practice mode only. Attendees, but are these the attendees that I am talking to?
I think they're starting.
Hello.
Ciao, buongiorno.
Ciao.
Come stai?
Monica.
Sono Pietro.
Hi.
Mi vedi? Can you see me?
Buongiorno. Buonasera.
No, I'm in New York, so it's really good. Buongiorno. I was just testing the links to make sure they work properly. This is my first Zoom. I haven't seen this before.
You made it.
Look, there's two of us. Wow.
Yeah, so there's already somebody else coming in. I gotta grab something really quick. Hello, everybody. You guys talk and we have. I will be back in 1 second.
One question: how do we invite? Where do guests go to?
Guests? No, there's a different link for guests. Okay. So that link is on my website. Hold on, let me put that in the.
I got it. Okay, if you want to.
It's on the website.
I'm sorry.
That's on the website.
On the website, okay.
Yes.
I'll circulate that.
Hold on, I'm gonna give you that right now. Copy link address. Here we go. And I am here. And then there is a chat. I don't know if you see that, but I'm gonna put the link right in there. You see that chat?
Right. Let me just go back to here. I see the chat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Monica.
I'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah. Let me put, so I'm going to send this to Tiziana.
So I'm back. Really your first time to be on Zoom?
My first time. Can you believe it?
How are you able to avoid it?
Well, it's a longer story there, but not in a public forum. Disconnect. I'm in disconnect mode. Okay, now the link to everybody. Okay, here we are. We're back. Well, thank you for organizing this. This is really, it's cool. It's sort of my maiden voyage as one of you people.
I know, I haven't met many of the ambassadors, so it's actually a really great way to see
Well done.
people that work all over the world on connecting the dots somehow. Right.
I'm trying to raise the thing so I don't have to crane my. Maybe I just lower my pillow. Okay, that might work. Let me get another book to raise the computer. Okay. Let's see. Now, do you see me okay now? Or is it too much backlit?
No, you're good.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I can't tell. I guess if I lean forward a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's very
That's better. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Alrighty, so I just have to figure out, there's a few things still. People are giving me stuff now, which I don't know. Backdrop, how do you do that? I sent you the file now by drop mail. Drop mail? What is drop mail?
I'm going to let you focus, Monica, okay? I'll be back.
Yeah, please. I am actually going to add this YouTube thing on there too.
Now you don't have time to be nervous.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how to do this.
Hi, Monica.
Hello. Hi.
Here.
Severio.
Who is here?
You are in Cittadella,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Where? What? Excuse
You
me?
are right there, Cittadella, right?
No, no, no. This one is a picture from the macro asilo room.
Ah.
Where
Oh, I see. You are painting it. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Oh, that's really cool.
Okay. So that there is also Pietro
Mm-hmm.
and Savina.
Right.
Okay. Now.
I think everybody got the link, right? Or do I have to send it again in that email?
Maybe. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. I'm checking everything, but I think it's fine. Good morning.
Hello, good
Good
morning.
afternoon.
This is Karma. It's
Yeah.
from Australia.
Yeah, from Australia. It's 1 a.m. Hello, everybody.
Pietro from New York.
Very
Hello.
good in Australia.
Sabina, where are you?
south of Italy.
Ah, okay. No, because Savina
behind me,
is always all around the world, so you have
Yeah.
to ask for Savina where is in a certain moment.
Also, my parents ask me, "Where are you?" And behind me there is Terzo Paradiso from Cuba, from children from Cuba
Nice.
that they made. I just post that we made last year.
That's great. Okay, we can definitely talk about
Yeah, I
that.
try to put my out my.
You're right in the middle of Terzo Paradiso. It's perfect.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the best, but I can put.
No, it's perfect. Be there.
It's perfect. Okay.
Maybe it looks a little bit like your ears sometimes, but I think it's
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking to put some things from also the children from Cuba. That I have here in Calabria now.
Wow.
Where are you in Calabria?
I'm Lamezia Terme. My parents, they live in a small village. It's called the Ferroletto Antico with the 3,000 people, but we live really in the middle of nothing. So just with dogs and animals.
I've been to Riace. I brought Mimo to New York, so I know the whole area. Lamezia Terme.
Okay, yeah, because these are the yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I just come back from Japan because I was in January in Japan. So after when coronavirus, normally we had to they asked to us to come back of our nationality. So I had to come back in Italy.
Ouch.
Yeah, because normally I was to Barcelona, but it was complicated with the company because Air France, after the different company, they just decided that they can have just the Italians or the French or the English for a moment.
I see.
So they spread us.
Well, now has joined also Rosa
Hello,
Quintana
everybody.
from Rome, also if she is from Ecuador. Karma, what time is it over there?
1 a.m.
Well,
Yeah, I don't have power at my house, so we are like with lanterns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a bit wild here.
So where are you exactly? I mean, what, in a village or?
No, I live in the hills, in a place near Byron Bay. It's a regional area. It's about 20 minutes from the coast.
Wow.
About 2 hours south from Brisbane.
Brisbane, okay. 2 hours south from Brisbane. Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is an amazing thing because it's the first time that we are in this kind of web contactless with contact from in a situation where there is no space between us, but there is so much space between us because now we are from in the same moment we are from well, and with Japan also Takuya Kaneda. So we need of someone from Africa, and after we have the 5 continents. So very good, very good. Yeah. Hello Takuya, how are you?
Hi Saverio.
Hi.
Oh, that's
Hi
amazing.
Sabina-san.
Hello, Takuya.
Yes.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Hi. Oh, no, now it's midnight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So almost 12 o'clock. Yes.
Oh,
Konbanwa. But there's Ohayou gozaimasu. In American time, in Europe time.
I'm still with my coffee.
Yes, I also the midnight coffee.
Oh, okay, I have my afternoon cup of coffee.
All right, so that's universal.
It looks like tea to me, Saverio. That does not look like Italian coffee. That looks more like tea.
No, this one is American coffee.
Oh,
For the occasion, yes.
Oh, that's great. So let's see. Oh, I'm so happy. You know,
Now I know who Monica is. Hi, Monica.
hello.
Hi. Now I saw your name. I said, hi, Monica. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, slowly there's more and more coming in. It was really so great also to read through some of the things that everybody's doing. I was very fascinated by all the things going on in the world here, connected to the Terzo Paradiso.
Yeah, there is also Pierre. Hi, Pierre.
Hi. Hello, hello. Happy to
Hello.
join.
Hello, hello.
Well,
Can you
there
hear
is
me?
a message from Aurora Vernazzani, but I don't understand the message. I triangularize to connect.
Aurora.
Maybe she's saying I'm trying and this thing.
Yeah, yeah, probably yes. And
Could be
there's
anything.
trying to
Trying.
connect. Okay, yeah.
How is Maestro? How is Michelangelo?
Well, I think that is all okay, but in a few minutes, I guess that Paolo will connect with us. So, or maybe it could be more, you could say, as the situation
Details.
right now, because for sure now is negative to the
Oh,
to the
that's for the
control.
second.
So yeah. So if from I don't know, Wednesday, I guess it's officially out of the coronavirus pandemic. So it's good.
Right.
And now from Mexico, Raimundo Sesma. Hola, Raimundo. No, there is just the name, so maybe he's trying to get like to get in touch like Aurora. So we have just to wait. But I guess that we are almost at 5 o'clock here in Italy. So
It's
Yes.
54. Another 6 minutes to go.
yeah. There is a kind of light. I don't know what is doing Raimundo. So
Oh yeah, the shine.
yeah.
He speaks from the third paradise.
Okay. We see you, Raimundo. No, we don't hear you. You have to put on the microphone. Raimundo, we just see you.
Chat.
Okay. Aurora is here, so I'm gonna actually promote her to panelist.
Aurora, okay.
Okay, good. I figured that out. I hope I'm gonna figure everything out. This whole technical. Hello.
Hello, Aurora.
Now I see. Okay, when somebody chats, then maybe that's what happens, that they're actually in the participants.
Yes, is arriving also Paolo.
Hello.
Hello, Paolo.
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah, okay, Paolo.
Yes. Hello. Raimundo is still not.
We're still working on that,
Raimundo,
right?
doesn't work your microphone.
I see.
Raimundo, the microphone.
Yeah, he's not muted. There must be something on his computer that.
Yeah, he's not. No.
Yes, it is muted. He is muted.
But not on my side. I don't see the, I
Or
can't.
maybe on his.
Yeah, exactly. We can hear him, but not.
Ok, mi senti?
Ora sì.
Okay. Ora sì.
Ecco.
Come stai, Saverio?
Bene, grazie. Bene, Raimundo.
Abbiamo nostalgia di te in Messico.
È giusto, è giusto.
Come state?
Oh.
Tutto bene?
Tutto bene, tutto bien, tutto bien. Paolo, we have almost all the world here because we have Japan, Australia, and New York with people, Mexico.
Oh, really?
Giorgio now.
Mexico also?
It's not Giorgio, this one.
Sì.
No, it's not Giorgio. It's I'm like the scholar in residence at Magatino. We're waiting for Nancy and Giorgio to join as well. Is there a different link that I should access?
Say that again.
Giorgio forwarded me the link in order to attend, not as a panelist, but as a viewer. Do I need a different link to access as a viewer?
Okay. Now it's arriving also Chiara Tinonin.
Hello.
Chiara.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Oh. And Alejandro Vasquez.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I don't know many of you, but I know Sabina, I know Paolo. Yeah,
Hola,
hello.
Alejandro.
¿Qué
Ciao,
tal?
Alejandro.
Hola, Alejandro.
Alejandro, where are you?
Medellín, Colombia.
Medellín.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
Alejandro, another former resident of the University of Antioch.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Paolo, hai problemi con l'audio.
I think everybody has that we need to
Turn
mute.
off the mics.
Ciao Stefania.
Hello.
Stefania.
Sei a Palermo?
Yeah.
Outside, nice.
Alberta. Hi, Alberta.
Ciao. Hi. How are you? Hi,
Eia.
Monica.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all.
Hi, everyone.
Nice to meet you too.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm Eia from Italy, Finnish from Italy.
Hello.
Sì.
Sara. Ciao Sara. Ciao Sara, sei a Padova?
Sì, ciao.
Bene, ci stiamo preparando.
Come va?
Tutto bene, tutto bene. Pierre, are you at home? I think so.
I just got some technical help.
Yeah, there is a moment where everybody's trying to the connection.
I know, I'm also figuring out.
Ciao Sara.
Ciao.
Giorgio and Nancy.
Ciao.
Morning.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Is it?
There's a kind of echo.
A little bit of an echo, yeah.
Sataimo. Ciao.
Ciao a tutti.
Impressive, huh? Fantastic.
So that's really awesome. Yes, I have to record this.
It's recording now.
Yes, Monica is.
Yes, I am recording. I am recording it. I actually hear myself doing too, right? Is that right?
We have lots of people on the webinar as well.
We're waiting for Paolo.
Okay, I'm back.
I don't know why you are.
I'm just figuring out how the.
Paolo, ciao.
Ciao.
Come stai? Tutto bene?
Tutto bene, voi? And you? How are you? Beautiful.
Senti, ti vedi più giovane.
Sì, mi piace.
Vuol dire che il coronavirus ti fa più forte.
Sì.
Oh, Corona.
Ti aiuta a concentrarti su l'importante.
Hello, Nora.
Ciao.
È bello vedere le vostre case. It's beautiful to see your home in the background.
You know, I'm gonna change your names because somehow you turn out to be Monica.
Some of you are backlit. You cannot see your face. Non ti vediamo. We cannot see your backlit.
Who I'm gonna just spot that. I'm gonna just somehow you turn out to be Monica. Because he probably
There is an echo. I mean, your voice.
Yeah, there's so much echo, right? Right now.
We should turn off our microphone.
Okay.
Except for the speaker.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Turn off all microphones.
There is the difference of time, and so with the audio, we have the problem. Okay, I was saying that if we stay with the audio on, we have with the microphone on, we have the problem that the audio is doing an echo because there are so much space between us that there is this delay for the connection. So please, we can stay with the microphone on when we are speaking, but not in the other situation. Right now we are 20 on 36 that we are attending for.
Yes.
So maybe, I don't know, Monica, you are the landlady, so you decide what to do.
Yes, I think we should get started really soon. Can I change this name here? Because I don't know I would like to just know
For the couple, you
This is Nancy and Giorgio where it says Monica.
Yeah, Giorgio?
Yes, but I don't know, he wouldn't allow me to change with the code you give.
I changed it right now. Giorgio,
Giorgio and Nancy.
Hold on, I have to write. And then we get started in 1 second.
Magazzino.
Saverio, sai che no, adesso è sparito le immagini vostre, non ci vedo più.
Guarda, dovrebbe essere che adesso vedi quello che parla per come è stato impostato lo schermo.
No, non vedo niente, solo c'è un punto rosso che dice recording, che si spenge si spende,
Sì, sta
si accende.
registrando.
Ah, sta registrando.
Sì, adesso per il funzionamento di Zoom dovresti riuscire a vedere la persona che in quel momento sta parlando in grande ed in piccolo invece tutti gli altri.
Se selezioni galleria vedi tutti contemporaneamente.
Oppure se metti galleria, come dice bene Aurora.
Perfect. Well, should we, so feel free to always interrupt me, and actually, if you want to just translate some of the things, please do so, right? I think there's probably a lot of people that speak Italian on this panel. I know a little bit, but I know far too little to say anything in Italian right here. Anyway, welcome very much. I'm sure there's a few more maybe coming in. I hope everybody who's trying to attend can hear us. I just wanted to welcome everyone to the Church of Monica. It is usually an event that we do in person. It's happening usually every second Sunday at 11 a.m. It is some kind of a religious ritual, actually non-religious ritual, where we talk about possibilities that art can achieve. So the project we talk about during the church are mostly projects in motion, projects that have an ambitious goal. I would say that the Terzo Paradiso is probably one of the most ambitious ones. It involves an international collective of people to engage in projects that instigate change. It is a project by Michelangelo Pistoletto. And I think we are all very proud as ambassadors to be part of this. So I was a student of Michelangelo Pistoletto in 1990 when he taught at the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna. And I was inspired then very much by him as a professor. And as a result, the work I did then is still something I'm extremely proud of. But I realize also that what I'm doing now is extremely inspired by Michelangelo's work. I include my family in all my work. I am still convinced that art is the only possible collective thread that can pull and push on all ends of politics, economics, education, and social life, and many other things that Pistoletto was talking about then, and we are still talking about now. So I founded Open Source Gallery. It's a small garage in Brooklyn, New York. And also the Church of Monica in 2007. I also at the same time founded COCO. It's an educational program that's connected to the Open Source Gallery program. And last year we started a campaign that I shared with the Terzo Paradiso ambassadors. It is a project that engages young adults to build a trailer, like a house on a trailer. The youth, the young adults were engaged from 100% involved in the building from design to construction and were only supervised by us. And now that project is, during non-corona times, is something that we drive around in New York City and we engage young kids with teaching them about how to use tools, but also sustainability, sustainable energy sources, and innovative ideas on creating new possibilities. So Angelo Rivo from Como, Italy, an ambassador, who is also present today, I think. At least he was, he announced himself. We are now working on making that project also happen in Como, Italy. And I think it's just one example how this group of ambassadors just really listens and acts. So today we have around 40, I think 41 participants are right now. No, okay, 27 panels right now, but we have 40 announced themselves to be part of this. I think there's around 170 ambassadors.
185.
185, wow. Worldwide. So we have today ambassadors from around the world. I know we have Japan, Australia, Latin America, South America, everywhere on the world are people involved in the channel today, which is amazing. I would like to see if we can now, I don't know if we were able to get Michelangelo be present today, or if we can have Paolo, who is Paolo Nardini is I think the I'm going to unmute you right now. Is the director of Città dell'Arte, and also an amazing part of the Terzo Paradiso project, and has it works really closely with Michelangelo Pistoletto on every step of this project. Can you, Paolo, please talk a little bit about Terzo Paradiso for our audience members? Did I get you?
Yep. Hello, everybody. It's good to see people once again, and some of them for the first time. And I thank Monica immensely for conceiving this and organizing this with Saverio. It's really amazing. So first of all, let me express this gratitude. It's amazing to see this wonderful collection and to understand and to know that it means all of you in your own specific places being active with your visions on the Third Paradise program. It's really impactful. It's really powerful. Yeah, unfortunately, Michelangelo is not with us today. He's not feeling bad, but he's still pretty weak. So he's, and then he, as you know, he's never been very at ease with digital communication. So he says hello to everybody. So does Maria. But unfortunately, he cannot connect. And I would like to share a few reflections with you on the Third Paradise symbol, and specifically it being a symbol of connected by creation. It's not just connective, it is generating a third element, because two elements could connect also without creating a third one. Whereas the Third Paradise symbol, I don't have to go into this here. Everybody of you know it very well, like myself. So, but what really matters is that the third element is an act of creation. So somehow there is an ethics in this, ethical, because it's not based on the hegemony of one on the other or the other on the one. It's not the law of the stronger. The left or the right circle being the stronger. No, it is really this idea of the trinamics that generates a triad doesn't generate just a third, because the two initial elements, the opposite circles, continue to exist in the symbol. The symbol is the three, it's not just the third. And this is some, sorry?
Hi, Paolo, this is Chiara. Sorry, I'm late.
No worries, please. We have begun already. Monica has introduced the event and gave me the floor for a short introduction to the Third Paradise reflection. So I would like to continue and finalize it. So this, what my reflection would like to be is how and what can this principle tell us in this scenario of the virus, of the COVID, and especially in the post-COVID that we are looking at, all of us, hopefully. And so now we have a dichotomy between the digital and the real. And I hear many people have opposite views about this. But again, I think we need to realize that the emergence, and this word emergence is very philosophically dense. So I recommend you perhaps take a look at the philosophy behind that if you don't already own it. So the emergence of a digital space is only possible if two physical spaces exist somewhere and are put somehow in connection. So there is no digital without the physical. And this has very relevant consequences also to what we do and what we entail with the vision of responsibility that you are familiar with as being the basis, the foundation of Pistoletto and Città dell'Arte's work, and all of you. So, for example, are we aware of how extractive the web is and the digital is in terms of energy, in terms of the effect on global warming and the emissions? Are we aware of the issues of the governance, not to talk about the surveillance related to the economy that are implied by the digital? Economy and spheres over our own bodies, and all the needs and choices that we are making. So digital is deeply rooted, interconnected with the physical. And what can we say about the Third Paradise vision in relation to this opposition, digital and physical? Most people tend to maintain a monocratic or dichotomized view. Either one is pro-digital or is pro-physical. But this approach tends to overshadow the entanglement that the two enjoy. And thus, which is my point here, thus we tend to lose the opportunity to conceive the sense of two or more physicalities. Every one of us now is physically somewhere. We have mentioned it before, where from. But what can we make of these somewheres, these places, and their coexistence in time and digitally in space? How to make harmony between these three elements, or in this case, 43 elements? How to be physically and digitally bodies in conjunction, so to speak. How to let the sound and colors and specifications of the spaces and places each of us is physically situated to be reflective, reflected, active, and enacted in a digital common space without getting lost. Does it have to be true? As most times you can hear, that when you go online, it doesn't matter where you are. Is it possible, actually really possible, first of all? And is it desirable or desirable? So how can we establish new forms of hybridization between the digital and the physical, applying the philosophy of the Third Paradise, applying the formula of the dynamics? And I think that this trajectory of thinking, once again, leads us to where it has led us in the years we have spent with Michelangelo and the community which is Dall'Arte. It tells us where the things are, not just wild, all the things are. I mean, where our bodies and all the objects that we articulate and coexist with. This is what I mean, is where we do what we do, whatever we do, where we enact the practices that we feel relevant. I mean, whatever we do with a certain degree of repetition and engagement, with using our resources of time and economy and symbolic value, these places or these ecologies, I call communities of practice. I take the definition from Etienne Wenger, a French sociologist you may have come about too. We are not alone doing what we do for the most of the time, apart from the intimate, of course, part of life that we spend sleeping, taking care of our body, and so forth. But apart from these circumstances, the rest of the time we participate into ecologies where we contribute our identities, and in turn, we are influenced. I love this sound from the physical ecologies. And in turn, we are influenced from, also in terms of identity. Now, and I'm finalizing, the amount of decision power that we and our peers, our friends, possess in such communities of practice is enormous. It's actually amongst the highest forms of power that we can see in society. We can decide how to implement our practice in many ways, to a very deep extent. Of course, we have to deal and comply with the laws from top down, the rules or the customs and the traditions, but we can still decide a lot. What we use for doing what we do, how to talk to one another, how to regulate the economical and power relations amongst ourselves. How do we pay one another, for example? How do we accept or promote time off and time on, and the presence of what is not part of our practice? For example, families, the sky, our beloved pets, and anything else. Do we smile when we cross paths with one another? How do we wear masks, for example? And so on and on. There are thousands of decisions that we make within the boundaries of our communities of practice that mostly belong to our own power of decision making. Okay, and that's where the balancing principle of the trinamics, the third paradise, this balancing act, this is where it can come into the reality. We can allow for the emergence of a third coexisting phenomenon in all aspects of our daily practice. For example, we can connect our physicalities with our currently enjoined digital space. It seems that the digital is the only real space now, but on the contrary, it's not. We can have our physical world connect and merge with this digital by sharing some of it on our screen, or, and I don't want to spoil it too much, Monica and Saverio, just to announce it, as you did already, or we can play with a piece of paper and we can physically draw upon it. You will tell us more about this, so I don't want to spoil it, and I just want to finish that this is just a small and naive act of performance, but I think it allows us to grasp what through art we might achieve in connecting opposite elements. In this case, it is the digital and the physical, and different physicals through the digital, through this act of performance that you will lead us through. But all this has brought us into the realm of democracy, democracy, you know? I'm sure most of you are familiar with the term, and the system of practicing active presence as members of a single organization that they're called community of practice. All sorts, can be an enterprise or a not-for-profit, small thing or a big thing. But at the same time, perform connective visions, acting as a people, like a demo practice. Okay, as you all know, we have designed a social design prototypical methodology. And also we seeded a mythopoetical narrative that I'm not going into now, to participate concretely in performing government. So from the third paradise in 2003, that Michelangelo developed within the ecology of the University of Ideas, that is the continuation of what Monica had the chance to know first in the early 90s. As you know, Michelangelo was teaching in Vienna, where she met him, and what he and his students and friends developed was then brought into this factory, formerly abandoned factory in Città dell'Arte. And that's the late 90s when Città dell'Arte was brought. So from then to Città dell'Arte, within Città dell'Arte, Michelangelo developed the idea of the third paradise, working along with the students, with the tutors, with the practitioners who were coming, with philosophers. Some of you were there in the early 2000s, many of you, bringing along your ideas and experiences that nurtured Michelangelo and all our community thinking. To the extent that we came to democracy, that I firstly coined the term and the philosophy around it in 2012. And then we have made a lot of practices and experimentations putting to use the third paradise philosophy in the social. Now, all of us now have the chance to let grow this understanding of the principles and the methods that Michelangelo and this community, I mean, all of us and others are developing. It is a giant shared learning process. We can all bring it back to our lives and our communities. Some of them are actual schools, like the Academy of the Third Paradise. Perhaps not all of you are already aware that we are giving birth to a rebirth of the UNID with this idea of an academy of the Third Paradise recognized by the Italian ministry. And so this is all this a very synthetically story that connects Pistoletto to the schooling paradigm and the Città dell'Arte and the Third Paradise and the democracy. Now we wish that what we're learning from this pandemic becomes pandemic again. What we learned has to be pandemic, as even more pandemic than the bloody virus, so that the lessons can become an epidemic, pandemic global, towards a pandemocracy, as we call a pandemocracy, you know? And so I would like to finish and welcome all of you to Monica's church and celebrating this ritual that I wish might become, from her idea and her instigation, a ritual that can bring us together more often, perhaps monthly or bi-monthly, I don't know. So thank you very much, all of you, and hope to see you again soon. And let's have a wonderful day today. Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo. So yes, you already kind of talked a little bit about what maybe the collective activity can be today. So our idea, Saverio, Paolo, and I were talking a little bit, and our idea was to so that while we are listening now to each of the ambassadors about their brief, we have to kind of keep it a little bit brief, unfortunately. So we thought of like 1 minute each and we will get back to Q&A afterwards. But so each one will now be able to kind of just tell us quickly what they're working on, where they are, and what the goals are. And then while we are listening, and also this is not only for the panelists, but also for the attendees, I want everybody to have a piece of paper and a pen or anything to write in front of you and draw the symbol of the Terzo Paradiso. After we are done with our presentations, I would like to all of us present our scribble that we did during this time. Exactly, Severio already showed us some of this, so that that we can make a grid of all these Terzo Paradisos, individual Terzo Paradisos, and then also maybe highlight some of them to explain further what's behind them. So I just really need the help of Severio here, who knows all the ambassadors very well, to also introduce or give the floor to each one of them. But we can just, hold on, I'm gonna unmute here too to introduce you first. Maybe you can explain first who you are and what your role is. And hi. Nice to see you. So I'm gonna Severio, if you maybe want to just really quickly introduce yourself, and then we can get started with.
Yeah, okay. I'm Severio. I'm the coordinator of the Third Paradise Ambassadors. First of all, I can say that we are 185 all over the world, because we are in all the continents. And really important is who is the ambassador, because normally the ambassador is someone that is representing a nation, a country in another country. While for us, it's really hard to say that we're representing a place, because a lot of us is always moving all over the world and doing and trying to do something for the Third Paradise. So the reality is that the ambassador is an ambassador of the future, of the possible future, of a possible future where responsibility and sustainability is a major part of our duty. And so the future that we are representing is this, we are ambassador of a possible, responsible and sustainable planet. So this is our idea to go out from our house, to go out, now it's really hard, but normally to go out from our house and to get in touch with people. It's true that I know well by name all the people that are here, but not for the face. So I'm really glad to this occasion to meet virtually all these people, and there isn't an order to speak, just maybe the one of the Zoom panel. So we have one for first one, we have one of the last one that is close to you, Monica, because it's Pietro Costa that is in New York. So if you like to introduce you, Pietro.
I'm Pietro Costa. Am I unmuted? I'm not muted, great. I wanted to thank Paolo and Severio, and most of all Chiara Belliti, who invited me to a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I guess. It's very recent. I'm very fresh, I just had a new rebirth here, and became part of this family of 185 members. So thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here. Where am I? I guess that's about location, the question on this sheet. I am about, I'm exactly 100 miles north of New York City, in a small town in Dutchess County called Staatsburg, where I have a studio and where I also have the American base of an organization I founded and launched in southern Italy named BACAS, Borghi Antichi Cultura Arte e Scienze. And I see life, I don't know much about, how I see the message and thoughts and actions of Terzo Paradiso yet. I still have to grow a little bit into this activity, but it seems, from what I've seen so far and what I've heard, it seems very much like what I've been thinking about. I came here as a young child at 12, so I had a rebirth coming as an immigrant to the United States. And being here, I realized about 10 years ago that I've gathered a lot. And so what I decided to do was take my gathering, because life is a gathering, just like now I've gathered another 45 different faces, and invest that gathering and share it within my community in Italy, which I see and saw as needing to have a bridge to the outside. And so I've built this bridge from New York, where I live, to southern Italy, and I continue to do it. And now with the inclusion, I am a visual artist, amongst other things, but primarily. But with the inclusion of being an ambassador for Terzo Paradiso, it widens the possibility of my thinking, of how I see life, how I see my social action, how I see myself growing as not only as a visual artist inside the studio, because that's the beauty of all this, is that you are an artist or you're somebody somewhere else, and then you become, this is another role, another road that you go down. So that's who I am. I want to wish Michelangelo a strong recovery. For that, I just want to do that. And because it's a church, right? So a little bit of what is tongue, it's a good way to kind of have music therapy here for everyone. And I am a COVID survivor. And if anyone has survived COVID, I please strongly suggest that you start the process of donating your plasma as soon as possible. So thank you.
Thank you. So should we, I'm just gonna go, or do you, Saverio? Go.
Yeah, I mean, just in the way that I'm looking here, now we are jumping in Australia, close to Brisbane, Karma, that is here, Karma Baines, but she's in representation also of Ekarasa, I guess.
Yes, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
My name's Karma Barnes. I'm a New Zealander. I'm based here in Australia, and I'm from the Imagine the Land project, which is a collaboration with Ekarasa Dublanovic, who's based in New Zealand. And right now, I'm feeling it's really important as an ambassador of the Third Paradise to be working and supporting people creatively in the community, and building projects as a way for people to make sense of their experiences in these changing times, and facilitating through that positive social changes. I am particularly working with young people in my community around building resilience and giving a voice to their compounded experiences throughout the isolation and the pandemic, and also the very recent bushfires that we had here in Australia. So there's a lot of kind of compounded experience that people are going throughout this. So I'm creating creative projects that explore and build visions of what a new world would look like through young people's eyes, and how that's related to the natural world and the changing environment, and also mental health in our community here. And a lot of that's facilitated through community projects that work with natural materials, as well as street art and installments throughout our area. So yeah, a range of things, but predominantly with young people, and just giving them a voice during this time. It's quite, yeah, I imagine for everybody, strange days. So it's fantastic to be able to connect here with everybody and just be inspired by everybody's work and projects here together. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
the youth part. I think it's important. the connecting and the youth part. So thank you. So should we just, I think I know what you are intending. I think we're just going to Rosa.
Yeah, Rosa Gijon.
Gijon. Unmute, yes.
Hi, everybody. You can hear me, can you? Yes. Okay. Well, I am Rosa Gijon, and today is the 24th of May, and I came to Italy from Ecuador 20 years ago. So today is my 20th birthday in this country. So, a very big part of this, me being in Italy, has been related to knowing Michelangelo Pistoletto's thought. And so I think that it's a very great privilege. I've been doing a number of things. I'm an artist, and I became a cultural producer and a cultural manager, and I've been an activist. And all over these years, it has been this thinking about connecting people and building this third possibility for us to be better people and to build a better world that has been an inspiration in all of my work. So I've been an ambassador since 2015, and I think that most of the activities that take place right now, I do a very political work right now. I'm part of an organization that represents 20 countries from Latin America in Italy, and we've been part of the Rebirth Forum in Rome. But somehow, even if it's political or institutional, or it has to be with migrants or it has to be with children, I think that most of the inspiration that I have had to put together people and to cross border crossing and frontiers and putting, differences together has been thanks to this inspiration and thanks to the being close to the way of thinking of such a big, not only artist, I think it's like a human inspiration, Pistoletto. So I will be thinking about doing things. So when we are trying to do something about what young people from all Latin America look through their windows during the COVID pandemic. And so that might be something that I will cook together with the Terzo Paradiso, that's in the cooking. But most of all, I think that being able to go through these hard times or good times has been also thank you to this amazing project and these amazing thoughts. So thank you. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa. And now we are going in Japan. Takuya-san.
Hi. Okay. Yes, I'm Takuya. I'm right now at home in Japan. I'm living in a small town, 60 kilometers north from Tokyo. Right now it is midnight, almost 1 o'clock, midnight. Yeah. As a Third Paradise ambassador, I have been organizing many collaborative art workshops for children between the Terzo Paradiso and Kids Guernica International Children's Peace Mural Project. It is an art project to create a peace painting on a huge canvas, the same size as Picasso's Guernica, 3.5 meter by 7.8 meter. The collaboration with Third Paradise has started 5 years ago, Saverio. We started this collaboration.
5 years ago.
Almost, huh? We started.
It was the
Terme.
Yeah. It was 21 of May.
Something like that, huh? Yes. Yeah, it is a good opportunity to do such a collaboration. The collaboration means to paint a Third Paradise symbol on a big canvas, the same size as Picasso's Guernica. We already many campuses created, especially with collaboration with Sabina. And what I'm doing right now is last Friday, I have to do my class, my university class online with my students. I asked them to create third paradise symbol at home during their stay-home period. This is one of the, can you see this one? It's very interesting, very simple. It's Japanese food. It's a fried egg. Yes, I think Third Paradise is very simple, but very powerful. So related to Monica's last question, the big question, how to contribute to humanity. I think in just a moment, the fundamental function of art is connecting people using a symbol. In this regard, Third Paradise has a great potentiality to connect people, especially this pandemic period. I mean, we have to keep distance, but at the same time, we want to connect more and more. So in this situation, to use symbol is very important. And Third Paradise symbol is very simple and very beautiful. And through making this kind of small, even in a small installation, imagination and creativity are required. Such imagination and creativity is very necessary to rebuild new communities. This is my answer to your last question. Yes.
So, so the last question was, how can we save humanity?
So,
okay, so thank you so much.
Yes.
We'll get back to you. And I think I'm now unmuting Pierre.
Yeah. Hi, Pierre.
Yes, now.
Unmuting myself. Well, first of all, thanks for vielen Dank, Monica, für das hier. Wir können vielleicht Deutsch sprechen instead of English, and if you don't know Italian. So it's so fantastic meeting you all, and I've been receiving these great encouraging messages, most in Italian, although I haven't learned yet, but it's a good kind of lesson to be an ambassador. You learn Italian after a while, which is a beautiful language. My connection with Michelangelo and Maria and Michelangelo, as I would say, dates from the turn of the millennium, where I was starting something with Paolo, with Michelangelo, with Maria, called the Nomadic University. And we had lots of fun, and it was very, very inspiring. And I'm so happy to see that the ambassadors now are going to be also the faculty of a new academy. And I'm very happy for this, because for the moment being, I'm the director of an art initiative in one of the business schools in Europe. My field, the people I work with, are the ones who are educating what they think and what they hope will be good leaders in the future economy. So I am engaged in something which I'm sure you all have very interesting things to contribute with. I mean, we're doing what we call experiments in art and capitalism, and capitalisms in plural. And I think that Michelangelo has sort of spurred the interest I had before by the the ideas of, for instance, Joseph Beuys, the ideas of Rudolf Steiner, and all way back in English, of course, to the Critique of Judgment by Immanuel Kant. Okay, so for me, it's very important to accompany the action. The action is important, the playfulness is important, and the creativity, of course, is a foundation. But there is a human kind of longing, desire to understand what goes on and to speak about it. And in that sense, I think that aesthetics and the development of aesthetics into also what Paolo was speaking about, ethics, is very important. So I think I won't be saying more about this, but I will spam you and we will spam each other with messages and invitations and calls to meet our respective communities. In my case, meet the students, meet the faculty in Europe I work with, and thank you very much for arranging this, Monica. Es ist großartig, ne?
Wunderbar. Thank you. I watched some of your videos too. They're great.
Yep.
Sabina.
Citano.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much for this wonderful initiative. I'm Sabina. I'm a visual artist from south of Italy, from Calabria. And since already 15 years, I started to thinking in which way to connect like culture and people. So for that also, I started to go a little bit around the small community, maybe because I'm from a small community. So I've been connected with Terzo Paradiso since from the beginning, thanks to a project that I was in Caribbean social integration through art. And since then, also thanks to Kids Guernica, I tried to collaborate on education because I discovered not just like for coincidence that I like to work with children, and also behind of me, I just bring with me some children from Cuba that they work with a big canvas. And actually, I'm a little bit live in different place because I'm also co-founder of an art center in Barcelona. And with Terzo Paradiso, we started this cooperation with Kids Guernica with this big canvas. And I think that is, for me, what is very important is there is like the creativity, the education, collaboration, cooperation. And also for that, I'm art teacher in a school in Brussels, because I think that if we start from the beginning with children, they're like the new generation is really important. And Terzo Paradiso, in a way, is also a very simple way to teach to the children very important main topics. So using really a kind of way to enjoy them with creativity. And sometimes for me, what is important also on that is the balance is how to bring a small community that normally I call the invisible, because I really work like really also in favelas, in also hold the very hard situation with the poverty. So I think that since then already I think from the 2011s working with the Terzo Paradiso, I was like using this symbol to connect the people across the world. So I'm a little bit a globetrotter. And nowadays, I think always that the more important maybe what we can do, because now I come back to the south of Italy or my parents' house, where I'm quite isolated, but I think still that education is very important, and it's very important to connect people from, the center, from surround, from the small community to the big community. So I'm very happy and thank you very much.
Yeah, and we can talk about this later, but I also know that the background there is Terzo Paradiso from.
I try to, to bring it with me the children, because they're really working with me from Japan, from Cuba, from Europe, from Mauritius, from Africa. And so as you can see, there is from Cuba, thanks to Laura, that they organized the forum in Cuba. And it is also a message from them. So I thought today to bring also them with me.
Thank you. Aurora.
Aurora, friends.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to unmute you.
I'm good. Yes. So hi everyone, I'm Aurora. I'm an Italian ambassador living in Marseille, in France. For the quick presentation, I am a video maker and a visual artist with background in anthropology and documentary filmmaking. Well, right now I'm mostly, all the time, a mom of 2 young children, so I'm not having too much time for visual art. But with my husband, who is a screenplayer and movie director, we found an association called Le Clou, the snail, for starting in September workshops about cinema and visual art for the population. We are far from this kind of possibility of expression. So because of my artistic project, still personal project about video archives and ghosts, is still looking money to realize them. Actually, my community of practice is my family, but this is make me think of me as an example every day. So I thought that during the pandemic, everyone felt so badly the need for nature, the need to not waste the world resources anymore. And so about your last question, Monica, how can we save humanity? But the good news is that it's quite simple and we can do it at the scale of individuals. So I would like to kind of throw a challenge to all the ambassadors and all the community, all of yours community of practice. I would like to initiate with you a vegan week within the Third Paradise project. It could be 1 week before his birthday. We could exchange about philosophical resorts, environmental resorts, health resorts. It's really what Paolo said about ecosystem. What we eat is what we are. So I would really like to propose you and we can discuss it later. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, let's try that. Chiara, right?
Chiara Tinonin.
Let's just be mindful, right? I mean, everybody is great in keeping, but it's hard to keep it to a minute. I know it's not possible, but if you can keep it at least to 2 minutes. I think.
Okay, I'll try 1 minute.
No.
Okay, so Chiara, nice to meet you, everybody. I'm in Italy, but I am ambassador for Australia. So I will speak on behalf of my colleagues in Melbourne, where I collaborate for the Arts Learning Festival. That is a biennial initiative organized and promoted by Independent Schools Victoria, an association of not non-governmental, neither Catholic schools. So as a former Unide resident, I spent a few months in Biella in Città dell'Arte in 2010. I basically invited Città dell'Arte to join the festival in Melbourne, and Paolo realized two amazing rebirth forum of the Third Paradise. We named that in Melbourne, one in 2017 and one in 2019, because as I said, the festival is biennial. And we work directly with students, and of course, this is great. Currently, Independent Schools Victoria is researching a lot on the role of art for civic engagement for students, and this is I think a really interesting topic. So how do we make positive decisions for our society? And I believe that the Third Paradise Forum inside the festival, included in the festival, really makes a space for confrontation, debate, and a real how can I say, self-development initiative for students. My background is in economics. I'm not an artist, and today I was reading the Journal of Cultural Economics, which is an academical magazine, and one article was very interesting. It's basically saying that the marginal effect of education on culture affects more, the high cultural consumption, not the popular culture. It means that if we became rich, we are not well educated, we are not going to go to visit museums or have, such kind of cultural, consumption, but we will go to cinema and popular things. So money here doesn't matter. What matters is education. And I think this is a real thing we need to talk about.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that too. And Alejandro
Vasquez.
Trying to unmute you, sorry. Are you able to unmute yourself? Because I am having a hard time here. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, it's nice to see how many ambassadors of the future in the same place. Seems to be the same place. Well, I'm an artist as well. I was in UNIDE residency in 2004. It was I think it was the best experience of my life. Since then, I've been cooperating with Città dell'Arte in so many projects, many ideas, and I became ambassador in 2015. And since then, we've been working on several projects. There are many interesting things about Third Paradise, but myself as an artist and I work in different platforms. Those platforms are, for example, I work in a collective, El Puente Lab, that started somehow in this cooperation with Città dell'Arte and Colombia. And Juan Sandoval, who works at Città dell'Arte, he's working with me in El Puente Lab. So we work in projects with public spaces, participation, is an activation lab. So with El Puente Lab, we went to Cuba in the Third Paradise forums and Terzo Paradiso forums, and we were cooperating and actually bringing some ideas to the discussion. I also work in a binational institution in Colombia. The name is Colombo Americano. I direct the art space, which is, it has a gallery, a nice space for exhibitions, but it's also an educational project. And we work a lot with young people, which I think is the moment where these people have the most difficult questions. And I think art, as Chiara was addressing, is education, the capital that we have to invest in. So yeah, it's pretty much using art as the way to communicate better, or to communicate through emotions, the things that we have to learn. So I think for building an idea of future after the pandemics, art, it has the role that is going to cooperate more in this idea. So yeah, thanks for this opportunity for allowing ourselves to introduce ourselves and to know people from everywhere, trying to think the future and understanding that culture and art is a way to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Giovanna Felluga. You have to unmute. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Hey, thank you, Monica. Nice meeting you. I will be very short, brief. I live in Trento. Trento is a city of Italy, for who's very far away, and in the north of Italy, actually. I moved here 5-6 years ago, and I had the privilege to become ambassador only 2 years ago. But the story with Città dell'Arte and also the project of the Third Paradise started many years before. thanks to Mario Pieroni and Dora Stiefenmayer of RAM Radio Arte Mobile, which is the organization based in Rome. I've been collaborating since more than 10 years, I don't know exactly. I remember, for instance, in 2008, we did a project with Gianna Nannini. I don't know if Saverio remembers, or Paolo for sure. And it was for me really a privilege to get in touch with the idea, with Michelangelo, Maria, all the family, all the big family, because I think this is really a big family, and this is the idea and the feeling that I think it's very important, because we talk about community. We are thinking about new ways of being together, even if not physically close. But the idea and the third paradise and Michelangelo and Maria are the example of how idea and sharing ideas can be the starting point of a new path together. So I didn't have the chance, I haven't had the chance so far to do something here in Trento, but I hope it will become very soon. And I mean, I am here for me. I started a project in Trento where that related to hospitality and art. So what I'm trying to do is to give the possibility to people to give an experience living and sleeping inside an art space, a space made by art, and just to live art as part of daily life. Because I think it's very important that even if he's not so into art world, can have the possibility and the fortune to live life as a daily habit, a daily life. So maybe this project can be a platform or something that we can do together. We can collaborate with Città dell'Arte and Third Paradise. So thank you so much for everybody for inviting me.
Thank you. Stefania
Crobe, from Palermo.
Hello, hi everybody. So thanks for the invitation, first of all. I'm Stefania Crobe, and from a couple of days I am in Palermo, spending my quarantine time because I came from another Italian region. Now I'm in a small apartment in the Calza Quarter. I am a postdoctoral researcher in art and urban studies at the architecture department at University of Palermo. And my research topics deals with local culture development through a research action activity on the themes of culture-led urban regeneration and social innovation. So very close to the themes of all of you. In 2014, I founded SITI, SITI, Social Innovation Through Imagination, which is a no-profit organization which investigates the relationship between art and social sphere through educational project, public art program, social engaged art, and in creating an hybrid system of thought. From the same year, I'm a Third Paradise ambassador. What about your questions? So when I think about Third Paradise, I consider it not only a symbol, not just a symbol, but a way of being in the world, which is very close to what I am and what I want to become. Every action of my life as an academic researcher, as an activist or artivist, as an educator, as a consumer, or as a woman in general, is moved by the conviction that art is an epistemological device to explore reality, to decolonize imaginary, and then only after a critical deconstruction to create new ways of seeing and living the world. About pandemic, now we are living a very critical moment because of the pandemic. But I don't think that the situation was much better before. But historically, the crises have our opportunities too, and we have crises have the merit of creating a breakdown in which answers can emerge. So I think now we are living the opportunity to rethink and to rethink the world and to reintegrate the discrepancy, the breakdown between actions and their reflections. I think that we need to imagine other way to be in the present, not in the future, but in the present. And now we can work to create the pacts of life to respond with other ways of living this crisis, which is not only a pandemic crisis, but I think it's a Western model crisis. And what about
your
last questions?
Maybe we can, yeah. Yeah, maybe we can go back to the last question in a minute and give the next person. I just want to try to give everybody a chance to talk, so we can keep it more or less to the proposed minute, which is impossible, I see. But I'm sure you have, like I would like to come back to these like really difficult questions that we like to we're going to try to answer, or not answer, but just leave it as questions, maybe even also in the after we introduced ourselves, so that we can have that more be a discussion also. So but thank you, that was really, really interesting. And let's just maybe try to keep it a little bit briefer so that we can go through everybody and then discuss. Then I want to go back to everybody and see if there's more that we can discuss, right? Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Alberta, is your turn.
Did I?
Hi,
yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alberta. I'm in Brussels. I'm from Italian parents, but born in Belgium, and I'm working actually since a while at in a big center for fine arts called Beaux-Arts. And we are also ambassadors of the Third Paradise as an institution. I mean, the director, and I'm the second one, let's say like this. And actually, I'm working as an exhibition coordinator, associate curator, and curator. So we're basically busy with exhibitions. And in this context, actually, and as a Third Paradise ambassador, actually, we invite each year an artist. It's very important to have a view from an artist. We invite an artist to perform something around the Third Paradise. And besides that, the fact of giving the floor to an artist to do an interpretation, it's a way also to give each time another meaning to the work creation, to the word creation. Besides that, we are just currently working on several thematics. Like for the moment, it's of course the climate change, art and well-being, democracy, Europe. I mean, all kinds of thematic that we try to put together and as a sort of constellation and develop some programs, which is something totally new in our institution. And We are also collaborating with Città dell'Arte for several and very specific program related to main exhibitions. And so that's the general floor. The second question, I don't remember. I try to have everything in 1 minute. So the third paradise, I've been thinking a lot about the third paradise lately, because I've been witnessing, and since the start of the pandemic, it was totally incredible as we had some kind of imaginary, how we imagine the world like a global limited resources place with an unlimited growth and expanding of our exploitation and economy. And then at the second time, we had a sort of response from nature, which is a kind of natural response, because we will probably never know where it all started. But I mean, nature came at a certain point, and we have this kind of unlimited growth of a virus with a sort of exponential growth and very limited health resources. So we have these two paradigms that are very interesting for me to explore, and that gave me a lot to think about. And the last thing about the post-pandemic, maybe about all things I've been thinking about, and I think that we could maybe think about as actions. It's beside all the actions we are going into, to giving back the floor to the commons and to try to go. I mean, it will be quite difficult to go from the community. We want to go back in the community, in the human community, and we were asked to stay inside our home. And so how we will develop again the community, the commons, this idea of the network and the human network, since the house became a sort of immunity world, and the outside world like a sort of dangerous place to be contaminated. So we need to go back to this kind of connection with the commons. And we have a lot of threats also, because while we are talking, the Amazonic forest is being destroyed. And it's not an accident of capitalism. It's really a will and a wish. It's really, you have people that are really want to use the climate and as a tool for domination in a sort of near or close future. So I'm quite concerned about it, and I was thinking about what kind of actions can we take besides the actions that we are taking now, like giving a sort of law responsibility or environmental law responsibility, something very coercive to some people tempted by the authority on nature and authority on humans, because everything is linked. And then the last thing is like the word rebirth in French, which is quite complex, because we have rebirth in English and renaissance, and then we have rinascita and rinascimento in Italian. But in French, we have renaissance, which can be very tricky because, you know, and try to find a new word in French for the rebirth concept, which is more like régénération, regeneration, something like that, because renaissance is very critical point also. And I don't want to use always the past, like the Renaissance, who was a big exploitation of forests and exploitation also, and you know, witches, I mean the condemnation of women as witches to build something for the future. So we have to be very careful about that.
Right. We can get back to this too. This is like also very big, big questions. So thank you so much. I am gonna move on to Sarah.
Sarah Rivoltella.
Hi, you listening? Okay. Hello, everybody, and I'm Sarah. I live in Padua, and thanks, Monica, for this kind invitation. And I'm an artist, and I work in several in different how to say, but in different arguments. And at first, I usually start from my books. I'm a writer, and from the books I used to develop a sort of interpretation of what will be, could happen. And that's is what I've done in the last roman, that novel, in which I've tried to imagine which was the new type of how to say, a world that could be constructed for this future. And I start thinking about an economical theory that could help to this vision. And in this period, I've started working in this. I've started thinking about this this project that I had, and I'm still working with this type of research in this direction. So my perspective was in this sense very very near with the rebirth, because I see that there are many points in common for what is my research and for what I'm trying to understand in this. And I think that this type of I think that a new vision could start with a new economic type of vision, really, and for the currency also. And this is the resume of this research. And
thank you, Sarah. Thank you for keeping it brief.
Now we have Giorgio and Nancy from Magazzino Gallery.
I'm trying to unmute you.
The microphone?
Yeah. Now I got it. Yes. Sorry. We were both clicking at the same time, I think.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nancy Olnick and Giorgio Spanu, and together we're the co-founders of Magazzino Italian Art in Cold Spring, New York. Presently, we're at our home in Garrison, which is 5 minutes from the museum. And we're very proud to be included in this group of such interesting and profound thinkers. So thank you, and thank you, Michelangelo and Maria, and all of you involved. In a way, Giorgio and I have felt kind of like ambassadors already, in a sense, because Magazzino is the only museum in North America dedicated to post-war and contemporary Italian art. And when we first met Michelangelo many years ago, we were in our new home that we had built, and we had only our Italian art collection here, and we asked him if he would create an Italian flag for us out of rags, out of stracci, and he did, and it was in the first thing you saw when you came into the house. And of course, when Magazzino opened 3 years ago in June, we moved it to the lobby in Magazzino, where it's the first thing you see. So in a way, we've kind of felt like ambassadors for expanding the knowledge of Italian art in the United States. What else? I just wanted to say that the feeling of vulnerability that I think we've all had during this perhaps will give us a moment to pause when we re-enter the new normal, as it was, to give pause and not go back to so fast to the way we were, but take slow steps into improving the present and towards a future. And we have always believed that art is truth, and we felt that way with every one of the artists that we've been working with, and And here's Georgia.
I just want to make it very brief. Past, present, and future are certainly the three most important points that Terzo Paradiso wants to convey to us. I believe that we should look at present more, and present is what I am a firm believer will help us to understand better our past, but also to go smoothly and help the future to still exist. For this reason, we have decided during these art periods to help 3 contemporary Italian artists that are living in New York, and we commissioned them 8 now, and to develop a piece of art working out of home. And that is going to be our participation at Magazzino to this event that is changing our life so dramatically. Thank you for listening.
Wow. And everybody, this is like the most beautiful museum if anybody is close to New York. I have been already 2 times.
Thank you for organizing this, Monica.
Yeah.
Really, and thank you to all the participants.
Bravo.
Now we have a guest, Marino Simone.
Hi everybody. I'm here this evening for learn from you because I'm not yet an ambassador. I'm from Biella. I work on some project with Paolo, specifically about ecosystem. I create a project about startup. I work in startup and innovation. So this is the link from me and Paolo. And then we create in Italy some co-working space. And now we are trying to help startups and companies to work together. So why I'm here and why I work with Paolo, because I believe in social innovation, and I see that the company, the firm, can help the territory and the people to change your mask, to improve yourself. And we create value through connecting startup with big corporate. So in this way, we are creating in 7 cities in Italy an impact that help people to grow. They help specifically students to find their place in the world. And last, I help some people to create a school, a new model to make a school, because I think that education, in particular for me, is the way to change, some way to create the future. Because yeah, we can change the future now, but if we try to help the young people to understand how to have impact, how to think, how to grow, we create something, probably something better. So there are many links that came me to Città dell'Arte, and today I'm here from learn from you. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you to join, and now is the turn of Satiamo Hernandez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I took notes so that I can be short, I hope. First of all, who we are. My name is Satiamo Hernandez. I live in the city of Lucca, Tuscany, where I represent the Aedo Cultural Association. Aedo stands for Art, Expressivity, and Holistic Disciplines. And it's dedicated to the development of socially conscious projects in theater, music, visual arts, art therapies, and holistic disciplines. Together with Alessandro Gazzella, well-known theater director and founder of Animali Celesti, we formed the Cantiere delle Differenze, which means factory of differences, working and bringing together human beings classified as immigrants, mentally challenged, students, health workers, actors, and empathetic people from all walks of life. How we became connected to the Terzo Paradiso was 2 years ago. We created the Festa della Cittadinanza Universale, which means Festival of the Universal Citizen, which was a day-long event in the seaside town of Viareggio, which involved street action, foods, theater, music, dance, conferences, and most importantly, the introduction of the symbolic passport for the universal citizen, which we call the Passaporto di Apolide Multiculturale, highlighting the importance of the cultures of the world to be able to mix freely around the planet. So immediately recognizing a close kinship between the third paradise and our project, Michelangelo Pistoletto graciously contributed the Terzo Paradiso symbol to be featured on the passport. He specified that only half the symbol should appear on each passport, so that it takes the meeting of two passports to create a whole symbol. And it was very beautiful. Like, this is half of the symbol of the passport is here, and you need two passports. You need the meeting of two people in order to create one Terzo Paradiso symbol. And this, I remember meeting with him, and he sat there, here, this is the way you do it. And he drew this hat, and it was wonderful. And I tell you, in this festival, which is hundreds of people, there were hundreds of people getting this passport and putting them together, and it was a wonderful event. Actually, Michelangelo also came and held a conference at the Galleria di Arte Moderna Contemporanea at Viareggio, which was a packed house and very beautiful. What we are doing now is the cantiere. I just chose three quick things to fill the three circles of the Terzo Paradiso. So the first circle is I would call radio, which is something we learned in this pandemic, and it's performance, voices, and visionary sounds. So with Animali Celesti, Teatro d'Arte Civile, we will begin a new weekly radio series called Clandestina Celeste, which will be aired beginning middle June on Punto Radio, which is a radio which is based in Pisa. Pieces of the company's performances as well as cantiere performances will be aired, and we will be inviting guests to speak about, and we would love to invite Michelangelo, which we will get the invitation school to communicate and speak about Terzo Paradiso to our audience. Second circle, video, the burning need for new paradigms in our community. And that, together with the filmmaker Ivan Dali, we will begin airing our documentary series called Utopian Visions, where we delve into different utopian experiments, places where a common vision nourishes and forms the basis for a coexistence that seeks to transcend dominant social models. So our first three shorts will visit the town of Auroville in India, the Free Republic of Alcatraz in Umbria, and Damanhur in Piedmont. Third circle, theater, transcultural interaction, the inevitable planetary melting pot. Cantiere delle Differenze is working on a new performance project involving a group of asylum seekers from various countries, from Africa, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, as well as European and American actors, in collaboration with the Red Cross, Arci Toscana, the region of Tuscany, and the province of Lucca. And this project probably will happen in September, and I'm finished. Stop. So thank you. Thank you very much. And we'll talk about the rest of this later.
Thank you, Satiamo. Thank you. And now it's the turn of Eya.
So I am just, again, this is also interesting, and I hate to abbreviate any of your talks, but let's keep it a little shorter because we have a lot of panelists still left that I would like to have a word too. So please keep it short. We can always come back to more questions and elaborate on things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Very inspiring. Listening to you. It's very, very interesting and very useful and essential, especially in this period. I'm Finnish. I come from Finland. I've been living in Italy more than 30 years. I have a master in literature and philosophy. which I combined with the other studies and expertise in body-mind methods and in meditation, in well-being, health, and especially consciousness. And we have been with other Finnish and Italian ambassadors. We have created many events, especially about health and about consciousness. And in this period is especially, this is something that we are continuing, we are dedicating our resources. And just to finish, I would like to say that when I knew Third Paradise symbol, I immediately saw it in a vertical position where as a person who tried to do it for me and for the other people, to connect myself with my inner nature and my ethic and feelings and sensations, I saw this symbol as a very powerful way of seeing that we have three parts: our mind, our experiences, theories, everything, the information, the very inner nature, which is our sensations, intuitions, visions, emotions, which have to be connected inside ourselves in this part, which is heart, art, and acting with hands. So for me, it's very important in every event and everything I do to bring this idea of inner third paradise, individually and intimately. Thank you.
Thank you. That's very nice.
And now is, I guess this is another guest, Emanuela Virago.
Hi, everyone. Thank you to Saverio and Monica for inviting me. I'm new in the Pistoletto family, and I'm here representing Home Festival, that is the Italian biggest music festival. We've been part of the Città dell'Arte family for a long time, so I hope we can do something very nice together, and it's extremely inspiring to hear all of you today, and I hope we can really connect more often and try to do something together also for our young music community that this year has been with the postponing of the festival, are looking forward to get chances to stay together and to connect. Thanks again.
Thank you. Aija, do you have a, Aija, is that how you?
We have Davide Carnevale, Lendat Campi Fregrei, that is here. You have just to unmute.
Yeah, I think we're probably clicking both at the same time.
Davide, devi accendere il microfono.
I'm trying to unmute you. I'm clicking on the unmute. Are you clicking too? I don't know.
Oh, Davide?
Ah, sorry. Sorry.
C'è un problema con il tuo microfono, Davide.
Now, yeah, go. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry.
Hi for everyone. I'm Davide Carnevale, and I'm living in Naples, close to Naples, and I'm very and still hungry about the people and the nature, because here in South Italy, mostly people don't have respect for nature. And so for that, I think the art is a good view to a good way to help the people to discover the beauty and to harmony. And so for that, I work from 12 years about that project. And and I'm meeting the whole community of Città dell'Arte and all ambassadors. That let me not alone, not alone in the war for the easy life and beauty life, and help the community to respect for everyone. Thank you. That's it. That's all.
Thank you. And then next one is Nora Roches, and I want to introduce her because I actually studied with Nora, with Pistoletto.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see you here.
Yes. Yeah, so I have, this is also one reason why I came here, because I wanted to see Monica and wanted to visit her church, which I never managed in New York City. When I visited, it was I think 10 years ago I visited you in New York, and Church of Monica I didn't do. Maybe Saverio knows better when I started to be an ambassador, because I can't remember. I think it was 2014 when we started our project, Signals for the Promised Land.
More or less. I remember 14 or 13. I don't remember.
Maybe
right now.
13. I don't know. But I will put a link into the chat, so if anybody is interested in my and our work, you can look at the films. I'm as Monica said, we studied together, so I'm a visual artist and a performing artist too. Mainly I work with video now. I met Michelangelo and Maria in 1992, and since then I feel like I'm part of this project. Yeah. What am I? In a short time, I don't know exactly what's the most important thing to say, but we are working on a climate change project in Colombia, and it's called Signals for the Promised Land, and I would like to invite you to see the film that I just made. I had the chance to have a performance in Austria 3 years ago. There's also a film about it. I'm Hungarian, living in Austria right now, and it's great to have the possibility to have some faces to the ambassadors, because I know very few of them, so it's nice to meet you all. Yeah, this is me.
Yeah, put the information in the chat. There's also, I put together some kind of a list on the website for information of most of the ambassadors. So that's another resource that everybody can.
Yeah, the next one that speak Alessia Siligardi.
Alessia, where are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you really much for inviting me. I'm in Bologna, Italy, and I'm one of the Terzo Paradiso ambassadors. And my talks and action are about to explain to all people how artifice can live in peace with nature. During last years, I've been working especially about sustainable and ethical fashion because I'm teaching fashion in the high school. I suggest to my students to create a collection when they use the symbol and the creativity, choosing natural and or new sustainable fabrics. The third paradise is important now and after the pandemic because I believe we must think about a more sustainable and collaborated society. The symbol shows the right point of view. I hope that a world with more possibility could be possible. Yes, I think there is a greater urgency to work together for rebuilding more responsible communities when people live together, thinking about nature and solidarity. So I just reply to your question. And to save humanity, I think we need to have a respect for the diversity of people and ambient, and equilibrium as our symbol is teaching us. So thank you really much. And
Thank you so much.
And now from close to Paris, but from Cuba, Laura Salas Redondo.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to see you all together again. Like Saverio said, I'm from Cuba. I'm the ambassador from Cuba, one of the ambassadors, because we are quite a lot. But in Cuba, Zoom is not possible to use. We need to use a VPN and everything, so it was really complicated to them to join us. I live in France. I'm back and forward to Havana, but I'm in France with my family, my little girl and my next baby that we are waiting for. So for us, it was like, it's crazy and beautiful moment at the same time, because we are spending a lot of time together. Actually, I'm working a lot now with a lot of projects in Cuba. Like we did in 2015, the first Rebirth Forum. And now we have many people collaborating with the idea of the third paradise and working in sustainable projects and many interesting things. So we are really happy to see what it's possible to do when we work together. So I think for me the answer, I'm thinking to save the humanity is actually the third paradise. For me is the answer. So I'm trying to follow for sure this idea, and I'm happy to hear you and that we are sharing this idea deeply. So thank you so much, Monica, for this amazing idea, and Saverio to coordinate everything. I hope to see you soon all together in Biella, and hugs you for sure, for real. Voila, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And now we have Armona. Armona is with Paolo.
Sorry.
Hi, Paolo. That's why we are together in the same house. And so Monica, I try to be quick. The project that I'm carrying on from some years now is Let It Be. I care because I care a lot about what I'm eating. So before this project, I was really thinking what we eat and where things that we eat come from, and how it's important to think local. I think the answer is to be more local on how we eat and how we dress and how we move. This pandemic is very important to start thinking how all the things that we were doing in this period can be positive for our future, but we can act, everybody can act now in this moment, eating locally, seasonally, and also dressing in a more ethical way without buying new stuff, dressing all the time. And this is very practical way to act from now for our future. Let it be, there is a site inside of Città dell'Arte. You can go and look through it a little bit to understand what we are doing. one of the main things is the terre abbandonate, abandoned fields. And we try to put together who has abandoned fields and who doesn't have them. And so we connect them. It's not exchange of money, but it's exchange of fields to somebody that doesn't have it to grow their own food in a sustainable and responsible way. I want to be quick. There is much more that I would like to say, but maybe if you will come in Biella, in Cittadella, I will bring you to a new Orto del Piazzo, it's called, that we are doing in this project with the community. Ciao, ciao, bye-bye, thank you.
Thank you. I think I don't want to forget about Maria.
From Quito.
Yeah.
Okay, hello, good morning and good evening. And I am Maria Sara Gijon. I am now living and staying in lockdown in the capital of Ecuador, Quito, which happens to be also my hometown. As a Terzo Paradiso ambassador since a little bit more than 1 year, what I do is I do talk a lot about the philosophy and the practice of Third Paradise with everybody that I have the chance, especially in the different networks that I happen to be part of, or some of those networks I actually am a sort of coordinator. And I am not an artist, but I am the sister of Rosa Gijon, and she happens to be the artist. So, and there's a lot of art in my house. So we are an artistic family, but I happen to be a lawyer myself. And, but I am not practicing law anymore. And I happen to be an ontological coach. And I can, in another moment, explain you what that is. But, you know, I do work with a lot of people. And I am also a connector, a networker, and I connect people all the time. And I am, how can I say, a serial, not killer, but actually I'm a serial connector and serial networker. So I'm always creating and connecting people and networks. Currently, I work with the vice president of the country. And in such a position, I have the chance to to coordinate a process, a very important process in my country right now, which is the building of what we call the Ecuador 2030 National Agreement. It's a very big thing. We have never done something like that in the past because we are a country in which people don't get along, are not able to sit down and reach agreements. You know, we are all the time fighting and disagreeing, and, you know, so it's very, very big task. So I very fast answer some of the questions if I have time. I think that Third Paradise mentality and way of thinking is more fundamental than ever. And I think being in the middle of the world, equator, you know, where we are, just in the equator, in the middle of the world, I think the Third Paradise symbol and concept is just perfect because we are just connecting everybody. We are in the middle. So, you know, North Pole, South Pole, North Hemisphere, South Hemisphere. I think we are the perfect place to start many of these powerful messages. I think there are a lot of possibilities to use not only the Third Paradise, but also the Demopraxis, and especially with young people. And currently, there is a very recent assembly of youth that was created, uniting 12 youth organizations. The name of this new process, because actually it's a process, it's called Tandari. And Tandari is from Quechua, and it actually comes from Sarayaku. Sarayaku is one of the Quechua nations in the middle of the Amazon in Ecuador. And the word Tandari or Tandari means collective work. So collaboration and working together for, of course, a better future. I think there is a very urgent a need to work in rebuilding communities And I hope that we, together with the private sector and the public sector and the communities, we hope to be able to work in what we call in Spanish barrios, which are the neighborhoods. And so I think that social cohesion has to start from the territories. It doesn't start from up, down. It actually starts from the grassroots organization. And in this case, from the barrios, from the neighborhoods. And answering very fast, how can we save humanity? I think we first have to save the environment. If we don't save the environment, I mean, it's the whole planet, we are doomed. I mean, it doesn't matter what we do with us humans. If we don't first save our environment, you know, there's no way we can survive. Because the planet has millions of years. The planet will continue. We are the ones who are doomed if we don't think about the environment and everything else before we think about us. So we have to be a little bit less selfish. We have to think about others, including the animals and the plants. And being in Ecuador, which we have the Amazon, and we last year remember the terrible forests, how do you say incendios? I forgot how to say, but you know, the fires in the Amazon. I mean, it was really shocking for us. You know, it's like it's the first time we say, hey, the Amazon can disappear. You know, we always thought that the Amazon was impossible to disappear. Well, now we know it's not true. Now we know that we humans, we are so terrible sometimes that we can actually destroy the Amazon. So if the Amazon can be destroyed, I mean, the whole planet. So let's start being less selfish, and let's think a little bit more about everybody else and everything else, and not just us. So that would be the message. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're not the only one that actually gave me that hint that that's a big topic to talk about in the email chain that we had. So I think that, yeah, the rainforest is something that is on many minds. So I think, did we go through all of the panelists, or?
No, we have the last one, that is Lorenzo Benedetti. But
Lorenzo, are you here?
Lorenzo?
Yes.
Because there is the video. There's just as he just came. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Lorenzo.
Yes. No, it's a very, I think it's a very good moment now to have the chance also to use this technology to be together once, and it's a very powerful moment to connect all these different positions around the world. And I think it's really inside the whole concept of changing. I think that in this moment it's very special. I'm a curator in St. Gallen, and in this moment there's this exhibition called Metamorphosis Overdrive, and it was planned more than 1.5 years ago, and it was actually about how artists can feel changes and how changes are sometimes very quick in society. And it's matching very well with these moments where things can happen and can totally change the situation where we live. So basically, it's also the role of the art in this sense is a very strong responsibility, and I think also the value of culture becomes also kind of things that reflects also the necessity, you know, to being together, to connect different parts of the world, and also to have this to have these links on values that are, of course, all starting from the art, but then they can also go around in very different things. And so I'm very happy that these things is happening today, and I hope that it's also a start for a new, different way also to use this platform of the ambassadors and to think what can happen. And I think it's very strong, especially now for also the future. I think the last months everybody experienced how quick change, how strong change can be, and how important the role of art, and especially a certain way to think about art in a kind of ecological point of view is.
Thank you. St. Gallen is very close to where I grew up. I grew up in Vorarlberg.
Where did you grow up?
In Vorarlberg, Austria.
Ah, yes, yes. It's very, very close. Also the language is the accent is very close. Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. That was amazing to hear from everybody, and thanks for really going through my questions and also being diligent about how you possibly could answer them. So I was just hoping that everybody also did doodle a little bit next to talking, so that maybe we could just now try to actually do a little experiment of so everybody who has a piece, please share. Oh, this is wonderful. I love it. I love how we're peeking through it. Oh my God, this is really great. Oh yeah, beautiful. Could we give it a little more time?
I'm so sorry. I have to leave. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye. So does anybody?
Alberta, bye.
Bye bye. Thank you. So I know we are going totally over time here, but does anybody want to elaborate on their own drawing? And maybe I was wondering, like, I like that. I really, Pierre, yours is really great and very, very innovative, I think.
It's just that the Terzo Paradiso is small, huh? It's small. It's not big. It's small. You have to take care of it. And
right.
Really, no, it's.
Speaking about empty space.
Right, exactly. So I don't know, we definitely went a little longer than we planned for our introductions, but I think also we talked a lot. Each one of us did explain what they see in the third paradise and how we could work together. I do feel like this is a really great idea to actually continue doing. And maybe if there's any questions that we want to answer now, or maybe want to Savaria, what that you want to maybe also propose.
This is the first occasion that we have to get in touch together with this strange situation of the pandemic that is, well, we know that is something very bad and so on, but in this case, it's a kind of opportunity to get in touch with all of us. So maybe, I don't know, because in Australia, in Japan is really late. So I don't know if Takuya want to tell us something, or Karma, and well, it's a very good situation, this one. So everyone is free to say whatever. Takuya.
Just a moment. Just a moment. Okay. Sorry.
Takuya, yeah.
Just a moment, please.
If you want to say something about all this situation, also because you are one of the farthest for us ambassador, but you are also one of the most present all over the world.
I say, in this situation, I feel something very strangely. Some coronavirus is a common language, even in different places. You see, even today. So just 2 months ago, Sabina was in Japan. The first time she was worried about pandemic started in Japan. Sabina's family is just worried, why you are in Japan? You should return to Italy. Then within 1 month, the situation has so changed. Sabina, maybe Sabina explained it. She had to return to Italy. And in that time, she said, in that time, the lockdown has started in Italy. For Italian peoples, 2 days staying in home is the same as staying in hell. You see? So she was worried. So how to maintain staying home for Italians? But so already 2 months has passed. Italians to survive these 2 months lockdowns. See, and meanwhile in Japan, the situation is a little bit different. Japanese peoples traditionally there is no custom to hug each other, and traditionally to keep some distance. So I told you just now, I explained that this pandemic situation, the coronavirus, is a kind of a common language across the nations. But the situation is different. It's maybe related with the traditional tradition or cultures. So it is a good opportunity to understand different customs, different traditions, different cultures, facing the same problem, you see? So, for example, I made this one. So, 2 different directions. Distancing is the opposite directions, connecting is close to the center. But the 2 factors, 2 different directions are necessary this time. And I put the center circle a little bit bigger than before, because to make, how to say, the central circle is a balance, you know, the opposite values. Or for example, different customs in Japan and the opposite Italian customs. So we need to understand the different cultures, different factors, each other, and try to make the balance in the center. So I hope, I think in this point, that this Terzo Paradiso is a good project to survive, how to say, this pandemic period. Yes.
That is really wonderful. I love that. Yes.
Thank you, Takuya, thank you. So, Monica?
I'm very impressed with all that had been said today. I have that feeling that some of us, you know, are needing to leave. I don't know. I just wanna thank everybody like being here. And if anybody else like Takuya wants to actually or would like to elaborate on their drawings or on the idea of the Terzo Paradiso symbol that we have been thinking about today, I guess, then I'm happy to still be here. But I also definitely wanna give everybody the chance to go to bed if you're in Japan. And I think it's just so wonderful to have all people from all over the world really on one platform and be able to connect this way. I thought that was really great. And I would like to do this again, you know, and maybe even when we can socialize in real life, this is something that we could still practice.
Make next meeting sometime. It's great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. We have to use it. And Paolo, you want to say something to close the meeting?
Well, I am really amazed actually myself of the beautiful potential and energy that is happening here. I would like to focus in order to reopen rather than close on thinking of ourselves, every one of us as ambassador. How can we articulate a sort of now that I have in front of me Pierre de Buntu, I would like to mention or to quote you how to become an art firm. Pierre has elaborated a lot on this. How can we become an art organization somehow that is capable of connecting vision and practicality and practice, economy and ideology or ideals? I think that this is really like a challenge that we need to move towards. We need to connect this enthusiastic, incredible energy to an ability to create a sort of how do you call it, living organism that is capable to connect with the economy, with decision-making organizations or situations in our context, and to keep this connection, intelligence between all ourselves. This is a real challenge. The way to do it without becoming something that we don't want to become, like a religion or a political party or this kind of things, is very difficult. It's always been attempted in history, but we need to be very creative, very, very creative. And I think we can make it all together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great closing statement, opening statement, as you said. Well, thank you so much. So I did record it. I'm gonna share this with all the ambassadors, which I think will be hopefully also a nice way of remembering. And well, thank you for everybody who stayed up that late to be part of it, or who made time. There were also people that are very sorry that they couldn't make it, but are really working on some Terzo Paradiso projects right now. So, so I think that is also important. Well, thank you, everybody, and nice to meet everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Great.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you
Ciao.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.